was talking to somebody else earlier today, and she said that sometimes she feels like all of these things that we have, like social media, Netflix, whatever it is, it's like we've kind of subsisted on this diet version of connection that it like sort of, it's like, I likened it to the 100-calorie packs, the snack wells, the I can't believe it's not butter, the height of diet culture where we were all like, no, this is as good. I actually feel so full. I ate 6 crackers. I'm good. Like it kind of tastes like connection, and it'll get us, through the day, but it's not quite the same. And
no, because it's basically a pack of communion wafers. I mean,
yeah. Before they're blessed and can become the body of Christ, and it's I think that sometimes when I look back at like that period of widowhood, I think that people could see me. People who knew me and loved me could see me online. And so they're like, okay, she's good. We got eyes on her. We got eyes on her. And because I had, insisted I was fine and I didn't need anybody, everybody believed me because I'm an incredible actress. And
well, because what do you say other than I'm fine?
Yeah.
I'm freaking terrible. Yeah. But you don't want to hear that. And I was having a really bad dead husband day a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't even remember at this point. Every day is a bad husband day, for Pete's sake. But all I wanted was for someone, not someone that lives here, because no one here in Minneapolis knew him. He didn't really make friends here. All I wanted was one of my South Dakota friends to pick up the damn phone so that I could talk to them about him. And no one would pick up their phone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I was just going through my contact list thinking, okay, which one of his friends would pick up the phone right now because I'm about ready to jump out my apartment window. And finally someone picked up. And it was so great just to talk about him and hear her talk about him. And she said, it's weird because so her husband, Devin, and my husband, Costa, were great friends, like the oldest friends. They'd been friends for, 30 some years. And she's like, it's weird because Devin has been talking about Costa a lot lately. And she said that she told him to contact me, and he didn't want to because he didn't want to make me sad. And I'm like, Jamie, I want to talk about him. It makes me sad not to talk about him, because if I don't talk about him, he's going to cease to exist.
Yeah.
And that is the worst kind of suck. Because he existed. I lived with him for 24 years of my life. And I don't know, I'm thinking about throwing another celebration of life party just to get people together to tell stories.
Yeah. Thanks for Asking is a podcast about life, about all kinds of things. We take listener calls, we read books, we do all kinds of stuff because life is complicated, and so are people. You can get full episodes of Thanks for Asking on my Substack, which is linked in the description. I'm glad you're saying all this, and I'm glad you're saying it as loud as you can, because people do need to hear that. And it's you're not going to make me sad by bringing it up. No one's going to make you sad. And if it is, if you are, it's the good kind of sad. It's like oh yeah. And to be given the gift of somebody else's care and memory of the person that we lost is such a gift. When I hear from somebody who knew him in a way that I did not, a coworker, an old classmate, like whatever, any sort of little scrap, it is a blessing. I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It's my favorite thing. And the other night I was texting with a friend of his that I don't even know that well. They worked together at a bar in Sioux Falls. And he was crushed after he heard that Costa had passed away because no one told him. He was living in California. He and I weren't that close of friends. He found out about it on social media, and he texted me immediately, and he's like, what the hell, Joe? And I'm like, I'm so sorry for not reaching out to you. I didn't even know. He's like, I'm not putting this on you. He's like, everybody else knew that we were boys.
Yeah.
And so we were texting back and forth the other night, and he was just like telling me these stories because my husband hated the spin doctors, like with the power of 1,000 suns, hated the spin doctors. And they are playing.
What did they do? What the hell did they do?
I don't know. I don't know. But they're playing at, I don't even remember, the Varsity or some palace. I don't even know. They're playing at some place here in the city on February 22nd, which just happens to be our wedding anniversary. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, Costa would roll over in his non-existent grave if I went to this show.
Yeah.
And so Brian was texting me, and then we were texting back and forth about just little things, like little things that Costa used to say while they were working together. Like, yeah, he'd go get stoned in the back and then be bartending, and I'd say something to him, and he's like, looked at me with this weird look on his face, like, what do you mean by that, dude? And I'm just like, oh my God, yes, he does that.
Oh God, that's so funny. I love that so much.
And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to hear all of these things, all of these things, because I lived with him day in and day out for 24 years. And so I want to hear these stories about before we met, things that he did while we were together that I wasn't privy to. It's just, I want to hear all these things. And that just makes me feel like he's still here. And it makes me a little less lonely just to be able to talk to him or talk about him. Yeah, I talk to him too all the time.
Yeah.
Just wandering around my apartment. Oh yeah, okay, yes, I hear you. I need to drink some water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like grief is lonely, but when you can hear from another person that they are still thinking about and holding and like keep that person inside of them, inside their minds, inside their hearts, it does feel so much less lonely to know like it's not just you. You are not the only person missing Costa, but it feels like it. And I think this is just such a good reminder to the people who are, grieving on their own to say like, make a phone call, reach out.
Yeah.
That was a little excerpt from Thanks for Asking. If you want full episodes, audio and video, you can go to the link in our description.